Hey, Tribe family, it is day 3. How you doing? I hope you're spending time in the Word this week. I know it's a little different from our Colossians study, so I appreciate your patience like that. Coming off of our Sunday study of Life is Best, we are answering the question or the argument that pro-abortion people have of bodily autonomy. All right, and so when we do that, we first must figure out what God says about life, what God says about life inside of the mother. And so remember our questions today. Are you ready? This is just a review, so hang on tight. Here we go. What does these verses tell us about God's value of human life? That's number 1. Number 2, how are we to view human life in light of these verses? And number 3, how are we supposed to view the unborn child in light of these verses? And today we are looking at Psalm 22 verses 9 and until we stop reading. You know how that works, all right? So Psalm 22 verse 9, this is David. When you look at the Psalm, it's pretty obvious that hello Davis, if you're watching this. David pretty consistently professes with his teaching and his psalm that what's inside of a mother is a person living innocent life. And so here is another verse that confirms that. And since this word is inspired by God through the writer, David, here we go. Verse 9. Yet you are he who took me from the womb. Now, you might be thinking, okay, the womb took me. There's a me. He had an identity. He was a person inside the womb, taken out of the womb. You made me trust you at my mother's breast when he was a very small child. Look at verse 10. On you I was cast from my birth, and from my mother's womb you have been my God. Meaning, you have been my God since I was in the womb, which means what's in the womb laid out by David and through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. What's in the womb is a person, a human being, check this out, with a soul. Students, that's huge. And check this out. It says in verse 11, be not far from me, for trouble is near, and there is none to help. And so here's the thing, students. You need to know God confirms and God tells us in his word that people, you and I, were known by God when we were in the mother's womb. When you were in your mother's belly or in the womb, you were known by God. You had personhood assigned by God in the womb. The world is going to try to tell you something different, but here's the thing. You need to understand and believe and live according to what God tells you when it comes to life, all right? And so we want you to spend more time in Psalm 22. Read ahead, read back, read ahead. Answer these questions so that you can hear from God who he knows and who he is trying to teach us, who he is teaching us that the unborn is. And just a reminder, students, you will often come across things that at first you don't agree with when you're reading the word. But remember, when God's teaching you how things and how life works, you should conform your thinking to his thinking. All right? I love you guys. We will see you at midweek.